at 8:30, like 8:40ish.
All right. And this fellow, was his name Kadeem Ambrose that brought this child in?
No.
Who was the man's name? Kiyon Benton?
Yes.
Was that his name? Okay. And he brought the child in about 8:40 that morning?
Yes.
Is that right? Did he identify who the child was?
No.
Okay. And as a receptionist, you didn't know what to do. You just called for help. Is that right?
That's correct.
And really, that's all you did.
Yes, sir.
In other words, did someone else in the office ask you to call 911?
No, I knew to call 911.
Oh, okay. How did you know that?
I'm a mom. I would call
Pardon me?
I'm a mom, so I have just instinct to call 911 when you see
Okay. And
something.
how many people were working in the doctor's office that day?
20, 25 people.
Okay. And so you immediately called 911 and then was it Dr. Waters who came up first?
No, it was Dr. Ford.
Dr. Ford?
Yes.
Okay. And did you help administer any tests to the child?
No, I did not.
You just stepped back and called 911?
I stayed at the front and called 911.
Okay. And that's the only connection that you had with this case? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
right? Do you know Miss Davis?
No, sir.
Have you ever seen her before?
No, sir.
Judge, that's all I have, and I thank you.
Anything else for this witness?
No, she makes.
Right, Doug. Mr. Greer?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your last name is Baker, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Baker, my name is Jeff Groove. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins, here representing Miss Davis. Have you ever met Miss Davis?
I might have seen her passing at the doctor's office, but
Might have seen her where?
possibly at the doctor's office, but not personally. No.
Okay, and you were there at this pediatric place for, you say, 7 years?
Yes, sir.
From when until when?
I started in January of 2013 or 14.
All right.
And then I was there for 7 years. And then I went to the military, and I recently came back to work. I just work on Mondays.
Oh, you work at this same place on Mondays?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Now, after this event occurred, did someone from one of the doctors from the business there ask you to write up a statement?
Yes, sir. I believe everyone that was there that day wrote a statement, and we sent it.
And you wrote up a statement, did you not?
Yes, sir.
When you met with the district attorney's office recently, you had a chance to go back over this statement, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that you recall in writing the statement that the child was taken, when there was evidence that the child was in a state of distress, that the child was taken to room number 4, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the child was taken there by this male that brought the child in.
Yes, sir.
In other words, how was he transported?
He was holding him in his arms.
Okay.
So Carter was laying in his arms.
Okay. At any time, did you ever hold the child?
And then, no, sir.
At any time, did you ever touch the child?
Probably possibly to get a heart rate, but
Okay.
just the usual vitals.
All right. You had mentioned something earlier about, you say the man said something about the child had a seizure. Is that right?
I'm not saying he said he had a seizure. I'm saying the details that he provided, it sounded to me like it could have been a possible seizure. I'm not saying that the child did.
Okay, but you never mentioned that in whatever you wrote.
Like, I just said that the child was biting down on him.
Okay, but nothing about a
No, sir.
seizure.
No, sir.
I mean, there's a difference, is there not, between a child biting down on something and having a seizure. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to trick you, I'm just trying to
Yes, sir.
see what happened. And Dr. Robert Ford was working with the child, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I guess nurse practitioner Gattie was there helping Dr. Ford, is that right? You
Yes, sir.
recall?
Yes, sir.
Was Ashley Howard a nurse practitioner?
She's a nurse.
A nurse,
She's-
registered nurse?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who the other nurse practitioner was?
I believe it was Amy Wood.
All right, you would, okay. And that, did you yourself call 911, or did you instruct Taylor Sledge to call 911?
I myself called 911.
You did, okay. And do you know who you talked to with 911?
I don't remember, no, sir.
And you called 911, and did they put you through to the 911 center that's off Carl Vinson Parkway, or do you know?
I don't know.
I take it at some point in time, then someone, EMS came out, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And do you know where they were from?
No, sir, I don't.
Did you go outside whenever EMS came?
No, sir.
You just stayed in the building, is that
Yes, sir.
right? Did you have, after you called 911, did you really have any other involvement in this matter?
No, sir.
I mean, you weren't asked to do any, any work that required a technician, is that right?
At that point, there, no, sir.
And once again, from the time that this man brought the child in until EMS got there was probably about 20 minutes, is that right?
That sounds.
Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I have nothing else. Thank you, Ms. Baker.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. You may step down.
Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Gattie. Are you still working for these people?
I am.
And how long have you been there?
10 years. Well, April will be 10 years.
April of next year will
That's right,
be?
so 9.
Okay. And all those documents that you looked through as far as State's Exhibit 1, did you help, in the course of your employee, help generate all of that?
Not all, but some. Some of the visits where I saw Carter,
Okay.
but not all.
Would there be sometimes that only you would see Carter, or you and one of the doctors?
Most of the time it would be that I would see Carter unless it would, if it were my visit, I would see him unless I felt the need to pull the doctor in on something.
Okay. All right. So how many doctors currently work there?
There are 4 doctors and 3 nurse practitioners.
Okay, tell me who the doctor, in November of 2020, who were the doctors there?
Okay, Dr. Robert Ford, Dr. Jessica Ford, Dr. Jill Waters.
All right.
The 4th one has been added since then.
And the documents that you have in this packet of papers reflects visits that Ms. Davis had with the child with either you or either one of the 4 doctors or with Dr. Waters, is that right?
Or the other nurse practitioners in the office.
All right, or the practitioner, okay.
Yes.
That's fine. Now, do you know when this child was born?
I don't, I can look at a date of birth on here, but.
January the 14th of 2018, does that sound about right? All right. And at the time that the child was born, was your facility used as primary care for this child?
That's right.
Pardon?
When he was born?
Right.
I'm not sure when he started seeing us, when his first well visit was.
All right. Then you were aware, are you not, that he was hospitalized less than a week into his life because he was having breathing problems, is that right?
Yeah, I'm not aware of that, no.
Okay. Do you know if Dr. Waters was involved in that?
Can't attest to that.
Okay. But nonetheless, there's plenty of evidence in there that this child had an asthma problem, is that right?
That's correct.
And a lot of other problems too, is that right?
We saw him most often for asthma, like cough congestion and
All
cold
right.
symptoms.
All right.
I wasn't aware of any other medical problems.
Okay. And you don't know of any other medical problems, do you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Were you aware that during the majority of this time that Carter was a patient at your place, that Ms. Davis lived with the child right down the road? Does that mean anything to you? If someone moves right next to where your doctor's office is at?
Objection, speculation. Jason sustained.
Let's talk about that. And Ms. Gattie, on the date that, November the 17th of 2020, were you there when the child was brought in?
I was.
And where were you located at physically?
When you walk through the front door, I was in the office, in the back of our office.
All right. And were you called upon to go check on the child?
When the nurse hollered for help, yes, I got help.
Okay. And who was it that hollered for help?
Casey Cochran.
And where was the child taken to?
Exam room 4.
And you went in there with whom?
Amy Wood, another nurse practitioner.
And is that when Dr. Robert Ford went in?
No, sir. Amy Wood went ahead and went into the room, and Casey looked at us and said he's unresponsive, I need a doctor. So that's when I went and got the doctors and left the room.
All right. And at some point in time, who was it that called 911? Or do you know?
I want to say there were maybe 2 people that called, but I'm not sure exactly who it was.
And at some point in time, did EMS eventually show up?
Yes.
Do you know how long from the time that EMS was there, was it from when the child first arrived at your place?
I'm not aware of that. I don't know the time frame.
Okay. Once the child was taken by EMS, did you have any other care for the child?
No.
Just a second. When you saw Karter that morning, did you notice anything alarming in his behavior or his condition?
He was unresponsive.
And I take it that you carried on a conversation with this man, Mr. Benton?
I did.
Did you?
I did.
And he told me, you knew who Karter was, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. And as a result of that, I mean, your office could just pull up could go to his page or whatever, and you would know what to look for, is that right?
Once we had appropriate identifying factors, we could. But, I mean, we see a lot of Carters.
Okay.
So like just him walking in the door, we would not be able to state this is his
Okay.
full name and date of birth. But we would have access to that, yes.
Did you have an opportunity to talk to Ms. Davis on FaceTime?
No, I was sitting here, the man that brought Karter in was directly beside me, and she was on FaceTime on his phone
Okay.
beside me. I never spoke to her on FaceTime.
And you were aware at that time she was about an hour away?
I wasn't sure where she was.
I mean, was it indicated to you that she was an hour away?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, you didn't know where she was?
I did not.
Okay. And did you have a chance, did she come to your place of business and talk to you afterwards?
She did not.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anything else for her?
No, Judge.
Ms. Gattie, what are the symptoms of an asthma attack?
Cough, there's obvious signs, nasal flaring, retractions, cough, wheeze,
What about throwing up
not of an asthma attack, no.
or bowel movements?
No.
None for his witness should.
Mr. Greer, thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Ms. Kelly, my name is Jeff Groove. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins. I have a few questions to ask of you representing Ms. Davis in this matter. Is it your recollection that this child was presented at your office on November the 17th of 2020 at about 8:48 in the morning? And I'm looking at subsequently you wrote a note or were asked to write down what your version of what happened was. Okay. Since then, and I think you've been the district attorney's office, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And I take it that you went over this statement that you wrote,
Yes, sir.
and once again, at that particular point in time, you were asking, or you heard shouts for either a nurse practitioner or Dr. Ford, because you were on this hall, is that right?
I was in the vicinity, I wasn't technically on his hall.
All right, but nonetheless, you answered the call, and was the child already on the bed in room number 4?
Yes,
Did the child have any clothes on?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you look at the child to see if the child had any bruises or?
I did look at his arms when I went to do his IV and his legs, because they were very cold and kind of pale. But I didn't see any noticeably like bruises or cuts or anything like that.
You didn't see any bruises on his arms or his legs?
His arms or his legs.
Did you by chance have an opportunity to look at his chest to see if he had any either bruises or discoloration or disfigurement or anything on his?
I don't remember because they were doing CPR. There was so much
Sure.
going on. I was trying to focus on trying to get him fluids.
Likewise, you couldn't tell us if there were any marks or anything on his back,
You know,
but there was nothing that caused you any concern as far as any bruises is concerned.
no, no, sir.
And I take it that they were trying to do, Robert Ford was doing chest compressions, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that Dr. Jessica Ford was trying to, and Amy Wood were trying to put a mask on the child of some sort. Is it called an ambu mask?
For oxygen, yes, sir.
Oxygen. And that was not going very well, was it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Had you ever, did you come to know who this child was?
Yes,
Karter Ambrose, is that right?
yes.
Had you remember ever treating him before?
No, sir.
I mean, I guess what I'm asking is, do you know if he was a regular patient at your office?
From his records, yes, but I was not ever in his care.
Okay.
Not that I can recall.
At any point in time, did you have the occasion, we've seen several medical records of Karter. Have you had a chance to go over them?
I have not.
Now, let me ask you this. There was some testimony about the child had thrown up or vomited some previously. You heard that from the man that brought the child in.
Yes, sir.
Did you see any evidence of that?
I don't recall. I don't think so. I think he had said he had bathed him before coming in.
Okay. But did you smell any vomit on him?
I don't remember.
For the most part, did the child appear to be clean?
He did.
The child was unconscious, you say, the entire time that you saw him?
Yes, sir.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
And was it your testimony that before EMS came to get the child, that was 30 to 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minute period of time, is that right?
About that, yes, sir.
And then EMS came, were you outside when the child was taken by EMS?
I was not.
You have no knowledge as to how long EMS, if you had the child outside before they took off?
No, sir.
Had no way of knowing. Did you ever get an IV in his arm?
I did.
You did. You had written in your statement that there was an attempt made to run fluids, but the IV blew. What does that mean?
Meaning once the fluid, so the needle was, it was in the vein, And then once the fluids were going through, the vein wasn't strong enough to hold it, so it exploded basically.
It did what?
It like expands. It pops the vein basically.
You wrote down and it was DC, what's that mean?
Discontinued, so it was taken out.
Discontinued, okay. Just a second, John, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else, counsel?
Chief Weeks.
Ms. James, good afternoon. Ms. James, my name is Jeff Grove. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins, here representing Ms. Davis in this matter. You say this was on the morning of November the 17th, is that right?
I'm not sure of the time frame.
Okay, but it was in the morning shift, is that right?
Day shift.
This, about 9:30 in the morning, sound about right?
I honestly do not know the time, exact time.
Do you know if it, either at the time of this incident or subsequent to the incident, that you put together or prepared any sort of documents that you would be kept by the hospital as to what happened?
Yes, absolutely. The hospital should have that documentation from that day.
And have you talked previously with the district attorney's office about what your testimony would be today?
No, sir. I mean, he subpoenaed me and we talked today, yes.
Oh, okay. Now, I take it that the child came and the hospital, your hospital is right there off of John L. Sullivan Road, is that right?
Yes.
In Byron, are you familiar?
It's off 49 connector.
Okay, near Hauser Mill Road, is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
All right, and the child was transported by Houston EMS, is that correct?
I do believe so, yes,
You
sir.
believe so? Okay, and were you there waiting for the ambulance to get there, or?
Yes, sir.
When the child was brought in, was the child wearing any clothes?
The clothes that he did have on were wet and soaked with what we assumed was
Okay.
water.
What was it? Did he have pants on or just?
I do not recall if they were pants or shorts.
Okay, but you recall that he was just wet?
Yes, sir.
You don't know if he just had a diaper on or anything?
No, it wasn't just a diaper. It was
Did
either
you notice
shorts or
any
pants.
blood?
I did not know, sir.
Did you have an opportunity to see the child's arms and legs?
No, sir.
You didn't?
I don't understand what you're
I
asking.
mean, did you look at the child or examine the child yourself?
Yes, as well as the doctor.
All right, but but you made an observation, did you not, as to the condition of the child?
Yes.
Did the child have any bruises on him?
I did not know any bruises on the child.
And did you notice any blood coming from the child, whether it be from anywhere, from the nose, ears, eyes, anywhere?
I honestly do not recall.
Do you recall as to whether or not you were required yourself to do any tests or examinations of the child, you yourself?
Not me, myself, the doctor would.
Would that have been Dr. Becker?
Yeah, he was on staff that day.
Okay. I mean, do you recall as to which doctor?
It was, no, sir, I don't. It was 6 years ago.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. I mean, was the hospital, was the emergency room busy that morning, do you recall?
Emergency room can be busy, all times,
Sure.
any time.
But
But
on
I'm
this-
not sure
Okay, you just don't
of how
recall?
busy we were or were not.
Okay. And do you know as to whether or not there was anyone of the child's family that was with him at that time?
None of the child's family were with him at that time.
Okay, did any of the child's family arrive after the child was pronounced deceased?
I cannot tell you. I'm not sure. The officers that came with or followed the ambulance, as well as our officers on scene, they keep us from all that.
I got you. And were you there when the child was pronounced deceased?
Yes.
Is your recollection was it was 9:38 in the morning?
If that's what was documented, yes, sir.
Okay, and do you recall that, or you just agreeing?
Like, as I said, it's been 6 years.
Well, sure.
I just go on my documentation from those events.
Okay, and once you received a subpoena to testify, were you asked to, or did you on your own go back over whatever notes or anything that you wrote down for that?
No, sir.
So you
Everything
just
would have been
basically-
kept within the hospital itself. I cannot access those records on my own.
Just secretary.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Grove, Chief, with you.
I do have a few questions. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Cochran, my name is Jeff Brew. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins, here representing Ms. Davis. How long was it that you said that you worked for Pediatrics?
9 years.
You were familiar with Ms. Davis?
I was not. I believe that I worked for Robert Ford, and I think that Carter was a patient of Dr. Waters, so it was kind of on the opposite side of the building.
Okay. But in any event, did you come to know that this child was a regular patient of your place of employment?
Yes, sir.
All right. And on this particular day, well, I guess subsequent to this happening, you wrote a statement that you provided to, who did you provide the statement to, this written statement?
I was just told to do a statement, and I believe an officer came and picked the statements up. I think I handed it to my manager, who was let me.
But you were asked by your employer, everyone was asked to prepare a statement.
Yes, sir.
And you had stated on this document that you wrote that it was around 8:47 that particular morning. Does that sound about right?
Yes, sir.
And that's when Mr. Benton brought the child in. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The whole time that Mr. Benton was with the child, was he on FaceTime with Ms. Davis?
I knew that he was on the phone with her, but I didn't know it was FaceTime.
Okay, but they were talking to each other.
Yes, sir.
It was sort of real frantic.
Yes.
Everything was real frantic. And the child was taken to room 4 where you started doing some work on him, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice any bruises on his body?
I did not.
Did you notice any blood?
Mm-hmm.
And the concern was he was brought in first. He may be having some sort of asthma attack, is that right?
I think we knew that was his history, and so we were just thinking it was respiratory issues,
Right.
not knowing the whole story.
Okay. But you didn't notice anything on his body that would indicate any sort of injury?
No, sir.
Was the child wearing a diaper when he was brought in?
He had on a pull-up and a t-shirt.
Okay.
That's all.
And in the pull-up, was there any urine in the pull-up that you know of?
I don't recall.
Was there any sort of bowel movement?
Not that I know of.
Nothing you know of. Just a second, Sean.
Okay.
Mr. Grove, he's with you.
Thank you, Howard. Dr. Brown, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Jeff Brew here, representing Ms. Davis in this matter. Let me, some of the things you just talked about, you know, the autopsy report that signed off on was several months later, is that correct?
I'm going to look, but you're probably right. It usually takes a while.
Okay, the death was on November the 17th of 2020, and you signed off on this report on September the 29th of 2021, is that correct?
Report here. Yes, that appears to be correct.
That would have been over 10 months later, is that right?
Correct.
And you, in answering the questions of Mr. Dwayne, you just mentioned that a lot of times you waited for the crime lab reports as far as toxicology and things of that nature, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're aware, are you not, that the toxicology report that was done by Amanda Cook was completed on December the 16th of 2020. Do you have any recollection of that?
Oh, I don't have that in front of me, but that sounds right.
Okay, so it was about a month after the death, is that right?
That would be about right.
All right. And then there was another report done by Carla Turner, forensic toxologist, in your office that was completed on December the 23rd of 2020. Does that sound about right?
If that's on the report, yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
So, I mean, were there any other reports that you were waiting on in a period of time from basically Christmas of 2020 until you signed off on your report at the end of September of the next year, 9 months or so later?
Not that I recall.
Okay. And you had mentioned that I guess your superior was Dr. Eisenstadt, is that correct?
Yes, he was the chief at the time.
And I guess from time to time you met with Dr. Eisenstadt concerning the cause of death in this matter.
I don't know how many times we've met. He is. You have to remember, I live in Ohio, so I come down 1 week a month, either Macon or Pooler, Savannah, to do cases. So whenever I would be able to see him, would only be whenever I go up to headquarters.
Okay.
And if you say we have several meetings, I'll take your word
All
for
right.
it, but I don't remember.
And Mr. Dwayne just asked you some questions about when you met with Dr. Eisenstadt and other people in your office. Later on, like in September of 2021, to go ahead and get this autopsy report prepared. Is that right?
Yes.
And this was something that was done online with you and Dr. Eisenstadt and the district attorney's office here and the sheriff's department here, Houston County Sheriff's Department. Do you recall that?
And I was here for that. I remember meeting with Eisenstadt, but I don't remember meeting online. If that's the case,
Well, I mean, do you remember talking to the district attorney's office about your findings?
not until recently.
Okay. Okay.
Because this was a case from 5.5 years ago, so.
Sure. Okay. But nonetheless, you wouldn't disagree that your office, being the GBI Division of Forensic Sciences, talked with the district attorney's office just immediately prior to you issuing or signing off on your autopsy report. Is that right?
That I don't know. I don't know who they talked to before I signed off on my report.
Okay. But you recognize that it was several months later.
Yes, this is during COVID too. Whenever I would, so when I came down, there were times of the lab to be closed, and
Right.
so,
And there was there ever any concerns that COVID may have been involved in this child's death?
no.
Just a second, man. Dr. Brown, let me just ask you this. I take it that the autopsy was done within a day or so of the child dying. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
And this was done where? At the facility in Macon?
It was. Yeah, Central Lab, that was it.
Okay, a central labs in Macon or Dry Branch actually?
Correct. Dry Branch, yes, that's the town, whatever.
And who all, as far as the photographs that were taken, who took those photographs? Did you take them or did?
No, I directed who took them. They were taken by our autopsy assistants. There's what they call death investigation specialists and pathology, forensic pathology assistants, and they're the ones who take all photographs.
All right. But in any event, and you were told originally that the child had some asthma problems, is that right? Some respiratory problems?
Yeah, suppose they had breathing problems, and the story that we were told was that the child had breathing problems, that the boyfriend, caretaker, said the breathing problems, contacted the mother. Mother said, he said you gave him breathing treatment, and he gave him another breathing treatment, evidently that didn't work. She said take him to the pediatrician.
All right. Now, you testified as to that you noticed some injuries to the top of the head or the back of the head. Is that right?
Yeah, some scalp hemorrhage.
Okay.
There was no injury to the brain or the skull.
Okay. But none of that contributed to the child's death.
That shouldn't have, no.
I mean, not at all. I mean, that's just typical in the child's existence. Is that fair?
I don't know that it was a Darden continuum, whether the child was receiving blunt force trauma at the same time. I don't know, but no, the scalp hemorrhage itself would not have caused this child's death.
All right. Now, in your report, or there was some talk about this child that the injuries could have occurred anywhere from within 24 hours to 72 hours prior to the child's demise. Is that correct?
And that was in my report?
Well, I mean, do you recall Dr. Eisenstadt telling you that was...
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay at this point. I don't think Dr. Eisenstadt's conclusions can come in. You can ask this witness if he reached that conclusion or not.
All right. Well, did you reach that conclusion that it was within 24 to 72 hours?
No, I didn't put time on it.
You didn't put time on it?
I mean, it was recent, but it was not, I can't tell you how many hours.
I mean, could it have been an hour before the child's death?
Doubtful.
Okay. Could it have been a week before?
No, because some of the injuries would have healed. Some of the injuries would have been in the process of healing. So we wouldn't have seen all the injuries that we saw. They'd all been scabs or something, like some of the injuries in the mouth, and injuries on the body would have healed, or they've been in the process of healing. In other words, scabbing over. So you don't get a scab the next day.
Okay, but did any of the injuries that she showed around the mouth there, did that contribute to the child's death?
No.
Okay. I'm talking about a lacerated liver.
That's correct.
Okay. And I understand that there's a term called lingering liver bleed. Is that a statement?
That word, I've never heard that term.
Okay. But we don't know when the injury occurred, do we?
I do not.
I mean, it's something that could have happened. As far as the liver is concerned, is that something that could have happened within, say, 6 hours of the child dying?
The liver was lacerated and it bled, and it just depends on how fast it bled. I don't know how long it took for it to happen.
You don't have an educated guess as to, I mean, if it was an hour before, 6 hours before.
Objection is overruled.
I mean, do you have an educated opinion as to when it could have happened?
No.
Or how it could have happened?
It happened from blunt force trauma.
Okay. What does blunt establish that?
And they didn't tell me he was in a car crash.
Okay, all right. I mean, could it happen from someone hitting someone with a baseball bat?
Oh, absolutely could.
Okay.
Significant trauma to the abdomen caused the laceration of his liver.
And you don't know how that significant trauma occurred?
I do not.
Or any suppositions now?
I do not.
Just a second, John, please. And once again, as far as the liver is concerned, would there be any, besides the laceration, any other injuries to the liver?
There was only the laceration that I saw.
Okay. And your testimony was that you saw some other bruising on the outside of the body, is that correct?
Yes.
Would that be consistent with the lacerated liver?
The ones on the contusions or bruising on his abdomen most certainly could have, because it also contused and bruised the inside of his internal organs. So that's where the blood was trauma to the abdomen, and that's where the liver is located.
If a person has suffered from a lacerated liver, is there any way of telling or showing as to where the blood would exit the body? I mean, would it exit the body through urine, through a bowel movement of some sort?
No.
No? Okay. I mean, would blood come out of someone's mouth or nose or ears or anything like that?
It's in a confined space. The liver's in the peritoneal cavity. It's a cavity. There's no conduit out to the outside world from there. And it would stay in the cavity and loculate or collect in soft tissue like the adipose tissue, the blood, or the fatty tissue that surrounds these organs. And that's what we had.
And it could stay there for days.
It would usually, if it stayed there for days, it would have been clotted. Eventually it would clot. This blood was not clotted.
Just a second. Let me ask this question: if there were some evidence that in the hours or days previous to the child's demise that would there be? Could you infer from your opinion that the child would have thrown up blood or vomited blood?
No. I mean, the vomiting from being at a blow to the stomach is common for anybody. Okay, but I don't know. I guess I don't know what the question is. That if he threw up, it wouldn't be blood. It would be whatever's in the stomach contents.
Okay, but it would. I guess it would have nothing to do with the lacerated liver.
The liver is in the same cavity as the bowel and the stomach, but they don't interconnect in any way. In other words, the liver tears, the blood it comes out, goes out and into the tissue and muscle and the fatty tissue around it, and it doesn't stay there.
But have you seen situations happen where there's been a lacerated liver for a longer period of time than 24 to 72 hours?
It has been longer than that?
Yes.
Not being treated? No, I haven't seen that. Okay.
Thank you. Dr. Eisenstadt, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jeff Crew. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins representing Ms. Davis in this matter. Let me ask you a few questions. Get some of this out of the way. At the time that you were, November of 2020, you were the director of all of those that were in charge of performing autopsies in the state of Georgia. Is that right?
For the GBI, I was not in charge of So Fulton, Cobb, DeKalb, and Gwinnett have their own medical examiner offices.
Okay.
So I was not in charge of that.
But you were in charge of the office there on Panthersville Road in Decatur, and also the one in Pooler and the one in Macon. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
How many pathologists or forensic pathologists did you have under your employ?
So it varied over time, but some were, if I remember correctly, between like 11 and 15.
And is it your recollection that this autopsy was performed soon after the child died there in the Macon office by Dr. Brown? Is that correct?
That's correct.
I mean, you weren't there for the autopsy itself.
I was not.
But, and I take it at some point in time you became involved in this case because would it be a fair statement to say originally that it was undetermined as to the manner of death?
I don't think it was ever undetermined, and I think we may be saying the same thing, but I use a little different terminology. If we were to say undetermined, that would be on a death certificate. To me, it was still in the investigative process, so we had not come to a final conclusion yet.
All right. And of course, you had talked about where sometimes if there were a problem autopsy or a problem with determining the death of someone, that you would meet with you would have a meeting of some sort?
Well, every case we get initial investigative information. If there are questions, law enforcement may reach out to us or we may reach out to them. So yes, there are times where we would either meet with the coroner, sheriff, district attorney, law enforcement.
All right. And in this particular case, once again, there was a meeting of some sort between your office and the district attorney's office for Houston County and the sheriff's department. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was several months after the death of the child.
Yes, sir.
Do you recall when that meeting was? Was it September?
I honestly have no idea.
But nonetheless, you conducted a Zoom meeting, and the audio tape of that meeting was provided to defense counsel. Are you aware of that?
I assumed it was because it was provided to me. So,
All right.
yeah.
And it was about a 30-minute meeting. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And, during this meeting, with you being the director, you were in charge of the meeting. Is that a fair statement?
That's fair.
And Dr. Brown participated in this meeting, is that right?
That's correct.
As well as other forensic pathologists in your office, is that correct?
So you're probably thinking of Elizabeth
Right.
Andrews. She's not a forensic pathologist. She is, at the time, I don't think she's with the GBI anymore. At the time, she was, we have a unit called CAISC, C-A-I-S-C. It's a Child Abuse Investigative Support Center. And she was an investigator in that group. So basically, she was out, the GBI medical examiner's investigator for childhood deaths.
All right. Yeah. But anyway, she was part of this meeting, and I take it that our current district attorney, Eric Edwards, was part of that meeting. He was an assistant DA at that time. Are you familiar with Mr. Edwards?
I am from that time. I didn't know he had changed positions.
But at some point in time, the decision was made, was it not, that the autopsy report should be completed and that it should be determined to be a blunt force trauma. Is that right?
Correct. I think the blunt force trauma was already determined. It was the manner of death that we were...
The manner of death.
Yeah, the manner of death is what we were really discussing.
Okay. And that could have been, you say that could have either been a homicide or that could even be undetermined or not.
It could.
And it's my understanding from listening to this audio of your Zoom meeting that the decision was made that Dr. Brown would sign off on the autopsy report. Is that right?
Yes, he's the one who performed it, so he would sign off on it.
Okay. And that as a matter of course, you yourself would do the peer review, is that correct?
Correct.
And you sign off on that immediately as well, is that correct?
I-
Or you did the peer review and then he signed off on the report?
No, it's the, actually, that's a good question. I don't remember the process. Usually, yes, usually it's signed off already. And then, no, we do the peer review first and then it's signed off.
All right. And then at that particular point in time, once the autopsy report is done, then that is that typically submitted to the coroner of the county?
So it goes into our system and the coroner is usually gets a copy and then anybody else can request a copy.
All right. But the coroner wouldn't sign off on an autopsy report until it's been signed off on, of course, by Dr. Brown.
Oh, I see what you're asking. The coroner does not sign off on an autopsy report. The coroner, in the state of Georgia, the coroner will sign the death certificate, but they do not sign off on the autopsy report itself.
Okay. Just a second, Charlie. And once again, as far as do you recall when you became involved in doing the additional testing on this case?
Unfortunately, since I'm not at the GBI, I don't have access to the system, so I do not recall when I actually would have done that. I can give I know we're not supposed to give assumptions or guesses, but usually it takes a number of months anyways for an autopsy to be finalized, the report. So I'm sure it was probably at least 3 or 4 months before I even got to, involved and took more sections. But I do not recall when I did that.
What are some of the other factors that you look at before? Well, let me ask it this way: are toxicology reports necessary?
In most cases, yes, not in all.
Okay, and if the toxicology reports are completed within a month or so, that sort of should speed up the process of completing an autopsy report.
It depends on the case. So if it's a case where toxicology is really the deciding factor of is it a drug overdose or not, or were there drugs in the system or not, then it may speed it up. But I can tell you that I've worked in many offices. There are toxicology reports that come out, and the autopsy is still not signed out for a number of months.
Okay. And as far as you mentioned to us before that you anticipated that the whatever injury sustained by the child was 24 to 72 hours prior. Is that correct?
Yes, prior to the time the child was pronounced dead.
Okay. Could it have been more than 72 hours?
Well, we don't have that yellow discoloration, the hemosiderin, and that becomes apparent at around 72 hours. And there's no, what we call macrophages, which are those chronic inflammatory cells. So to me, maybe 73 hours, but nothing dramatic.
Could it have been, instead of 72 hours, could it have been 24 hours before then?
I don't believe so. I don't believe we have the cellular changes that would have taken it out another 24 hours.
Okay. And as far as you say it was between 24 and 72 hours, could it have been sooner than 24 hours?
So,
in other words, could the injuries have occurred within 6 hours of the child dying?
right, no, I understand. And I don't believe so because, again, of the cellular changes. And there are actually articles within the forensic pathology, actually hospital pathology literature as well, that dates the changes or dates the injuries via the changes under the microscope. And I actually pulled out one of those articles again when I was reviewing this case back years ago at the GBI, and the cellular changes are between that 24 and 72 hours.
And that's a determination that you made and not Dr. Brown.
I know I made that. I don't know if Dr. Brown made that or not.
Just saying. That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank
Just quick for you, Judge, if I may. So in this meeting, you kind of reviewed everything. You guys had toxicology reports at this point, didn't you?
Oh, everything, yes.
Okay. Did that influence at all your decision as far as the timing of the death, or, I mean, was there anything in the toxicology?
I don't believe so. I haven't looked at the toxicology in a while, but the toxicology, obviously with it not being in the cause of death or even the contributing cause of death, it played no role. If it was positive, it played no role.
Now, this is a lacerated liver injury, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of pain would one experience with that?
That's why it would be very painful, and it's because the cover, anyone who's had like a ruptured appendix or has had an appendicitis or like diverticulitis, the reason they go to the doctor is because they're uncomfortable or in pain, and the pain is because you get stretching of the outer surface of it. So the liver has the same covering on the outer surface, and so when you cut that, it's painful, and that fits with the stories that we were told that the child had been complaining of belly pain. I believe it was for...
My name is Jeff Groom. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins.
Okay.
Here representing Ms. Davis. You see, you testified that you babysit kids, is that right?
Yes.
Where at?
Then it was at my house at 42 Mirror Lane.
Okay, where do you do that now?
At 109 Granville Way.
109
Granville Way.
Randall Lake, okay. But at the time, you kept, you said you called him Baby Carter.
I did.
You kept him from 9 months until he passed, is that right?
That's right.
And this was on Mary Lane, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Would you keep him 5 days a week or 4 days a week? Or?
Usually I did. Sometimes the dad would, if he was off, he would have him. Sometimes Kianna, if we had a doctor's appointment, sometimes he got sick and she had to come pick him up.
Yeah, I mean, Baby Carter was a sickly child, was he not?
He had, sometimes we had breathing problems, but
Right.
not that often.
Right. But before you kept him, but you were made aware, were you not, that he was in the hospital within a few days of him being born?
I never know that.
Never knew that. But he would go to the doctor quite a bit for his breathing problems and other things. Is that right?
For his breathing.
Right, for his breathing. Whenever you did breathing treatments on him at your house, were there any sort of machines that they left with you?
She would bring it.
Huh?
She would bring it.
Every day?
No.
All right. Now, you say you would babysit these Baby Carter at your house there on Mary Lane, is that right?
That's right.
Mary Lane's not too far from where Shirley Hills Elementary School is it?
We'll walk right there.
Walk right there. How many, at that time, how many children would you keep?
Probably about 4.
4. Mm-hmm. Did you have a license through the city to do that?
At that time I did. No.
You did at that time? And how old would be the children that you would keep there?
They was 2 and 3.
2 and 3 years old?
Well, I think maybe Paul was as young as me.
Yeah.
He's talking
Would
about.
any of the children ever spend the night?
Repeat?
Would any of the children ever spend the night with you?
No, not beside my grands.
Pardon me?
No beside my grandkids.
You would have grandkids there too at the same time?
Well, I had a grandson who was named Carter too. That's how baby Carter became baby Carter, because I had my own
Okay.
grandson.
How old was your Carter?
He's 15 now, so he was 10.
He was 10, okay. And during the daytime, I mean, what time would baby Carter be dropped off at your place?
Between 7:30 and 8.
7:30 and 8? And what time would he be picked up every day?
Usually around 5:30. Between 5 and 5:30.
Okay. Now, there towards the end of baby Carter's life, are you aware with where Miss Davis was working at?
She's working in Millersville.
Okay. Was she also working in Warner Robinson?
When I got baby Carter, I think she was working in Macon.
She was a school teacher, wasn't she? She worked for the college, and she would go to different schools. Is that right?
Well, I don't know about going to, I just knew she was working in Macon, and then at the end, she was working in Millersville.
All right. Do you know what kind of work she was doing?
I didn't.
You didn't know?
I didn't know she was the school teacher until she actually moved to Atlanta.
Okay, but when she moved to Atlanta, this was after baby Carter died, was when she moved to Atlanta, is that right?
That's correct.
And she was a school teacher up there.
Yes.
Judge, I'm going to object at this point. What's the relevance of this?
I think we've hit the limit of relevance, so the objection is sustained.
All right, Ms. Clark, let me ask you this. You stayed in touch. Well, let me ask you this. On the Friday, the last day that you kept baby Carter at your place, do you know how many other children you had there that day?
Four.
Four.
3 with him.
Pardon me?
4 altogether.
All right. And you say you don't remember anything about any falls or him being hurt or anything like that?
No, because baby Carter was alone. He would get a ball and he'd sit to himself. Probably in the last few months that I had, he'd start playing with other kids, but no.
Okay.
He would get whatever toy he got, and that's what he did.
If he was uncomfortable or tired or sleepy or something, would he tell you that he was?
He would actually come get in my lap.
Okay. But he was in diapers, wasn't he?
He
Or
was.
pull-ups.
Yes,
Did you have the occasion to change him throughout the day?
daily.
Okay. During the last couple of days that you kept, did you notice anything about, did he have any bruises on him or scars or anything like that?
No,
No scabs or anything like that?
no.
Did you ever notice as to whether or not, I'm sure that he had different bowel movements.
Yes,
Did you notice anything bloody in any of his bowel movements?
no.
Did he ever, do you know if he ever threw up anything or vomited any food?
No.
All right. Ms. Clark, when you were there taking care of baby Carter and these other children, were you the only adult there? I mean, did you have other adults there?
No. Well, not adults, but at the time that, right before his passing, there was the pandemic, so I had, like I said, my 10-year-old grandson, and Kennedy should have been by 6, but also she was just had been, she may have been 3. She just been diagnosed with,
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about my granddaughter.
Your granddaughter?
Yes. She just got been diagnosed with being diabetic.
Yeah, diabetic.
And when I talked to Kianna, maybe the next day, and I was telling her, At this time, she had been sent to the emergency room, and she was in intensive care in Macon. And when I talked to Kianna, probably the next day, I'm telling her what was going on with
When was this?
Kennedy, the
When was
next
this?
day after he passed.
All right.
The next day after he passed.
Okay. During this period of time that you kept the baby, did you have a good relationship with Miss Davis?
I did.
Okay. Would you agree with me, ma'am, that people grieve in different ways?
Sure.
I mean, you grieve different from the next person that's fair statement?
We all different, so yes.
And when baby Karter was, after he passed, they had a viewing or some sort of service for him over at Nelson Memorial.
No.
Where they have it?
Was it McCullen?
You tell me where it was at.
It wasn't, definitely wasn't Nelson. It was either McCullen or, what's the other, I want to say it's McCullen.
All right. And she accepted the gifts that she made for her, is that right?
She did.
Okay. I mean, she wasn't upset with you, was she?
No,
She had any reason to be upset with you?
not at all.
Is there some reason why you were upset with her this morning, Miss Davis?
I was upset.
Out in the hallway?
No, ma'am. No, sir. Kianna walked past, me and my daughter was sitting out there. She walked past, rolled her eyes, and looked us down and said, I slapped the shit out of you.
She said that to you?
That's exactly what she said.
She said that to you?
She said,
And you're
either
right.
she talking to me or she talking to my daughter. But we both was sitting there, but that's what she whispered and said. Yes.
Okay, she said that to you.
She said she was looking at me and my daughter, so who she was talking about slapping, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But that's what she said.
All right. So it wasn't you that made the comment about whipping somebody's ass?
No, it wasn't.
Just say it, sure. So once again, Ms. Tharp, whenever Ms. Davis would drop the baby off to your house, it would be 7:30, 8 o'clock every morning, is that right?
Pretty much so.
Would it be earlier than that? I mean, like 6 o'clock?
Could have been. We're talking 5.5 years ago.
Well, I'm asking you if you remember. If you don't, that's fine.
Right. Sometimes it may be early, but yeah.
And either Miss Davis would drop the child off, or the baby's father, Kadeem, would drop the baby.
Yes.
All right. And one of the two of them would pick the child up every time.
That's why I always seen. I never seen any more of her family members besides her. I was just able for her to pick him or drop him off.
All right. Judge, I don't have anything else, Ms. Tharp. Ms. Stanley, my name is Jim Krug. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins. I'm here on behalf of Ms. Davis. Help her with this. In November of 2020, you remember when Karter passed, is that right?
Yes.
Did you help your mother watch children there?
No.
Were you living there?
2020, no.
November of 2020?
No, I wouldn't.
So where were you living at then?
441 Hagen Mill Road with a friend.
Would you be there most days at your mama's place?
No, it's my mom's house. I would go over there, you know, occasionally see my mom. And if it just so happened to be during our operation, then, you know, sometimes I see kids.
Would you ever watch the children that she had on occasion while your mama went out?
I remember maybe a time or two my mom, if she had like a doctor's appointment or something, I may sit there with the children. But that definitely wasn't often. I wasn't in the staying in the home with her at that time.
Okay. And the day that Karter passed, I guess the last day, do you have any recollection of the last day that your mama watched Karter was on that Friday prior?
I know this just from her saying it.
Oh.
I know that she kept him that Friday, but I wasn't, I didn't see him that day. I wasn't there.
You weren't there on that Friday?
No.
What, on that Thursday or the Wednesday or the Tuesday or, you know?
I'm pretty sure I was over here someday that week, I'm sure, but
Okay.
no.
And did you ever have occasion yourself to change Karter?
No, I never changed him. I never changed him before now.
You never changed him? Did you have an interaction with the child? In other words, did you talk with the child?
I would play with him. I would, you know, sit with him if I was there. But interactions like talking, no.
Did he ever complain to you about anything?
No.
Did you ever notice as to whether or not he had any bruises or scabs or bleeding or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Now, how many other children were during that general period of time was your mama keeping?
With Karter, 3 to 4, I believe.
All right. And would there ever be any grown-ups there during that time?
Besides my mom, no.
Besides your mom?
My son would be there. He stayed with my mom.
Okay. And what's your son's name?
Karter.
And what's his last name?
Darren.
Okay. And how old is he now?
15.
Okay, so he was 10 or so then?
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with me that people grieve the loss of a loved one different from you, for example?
Yes.
Okay. When was the last time you had any contact with Miss Davis?
I believe it was March of 2021. So that was the year after he passed. I believe like February or March.
Okay, and you hadn't seen her until when? Tonight?
Yeah.
No communication with her by text or Instagram or anything?
No.
Second, John. Nothing else, Your Honor. Thank you. Once again, I'm Jeff Rue, representing your granddaughter, Kianna, in this matter. She live with you now?
Yes.
What is your address?
309 Bonnie Drive, Warner Robins.
And you live there, besides Kianna, do you live there by yourself?
Yes, I do.
When did your wife pass?
Probably 10, 12 years ago.
309 Bonnie Drive, is that right?
Yes.
You're retired, are you not?
I am.
Where are you retired from?
Air Force.
How many years you served?
20.
Now, Kianna is your granddaughter, is she not?
She is.
She graduated high school.
Yes, she did.
Where from?
Warner Robins, I think. Warner Robins High School.
She go to college?
Objection, Your Honor, on relevance.
What is the relevance, Mr. Bird?
I'll just say you as a witness in my case.
Well, even then, let me see counsel.
Mr. Kennedy, let me ask you this. At the time that Carter passed, were you familiar with who the father of the child was?
Yes,
Okay. Was his name Kadeem Ambrose?
I think it is.
Okay. And did you ever meet him or know him?
I think I met him twice.
Did your daughter live with him when Carter was growing up?
I don't know, because once they leave my house, I don't get into their personal business.
Okay, I understand. Do you know where at that time, on the day that Kianna came over to your house with the baby, do you know where she was living at?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you know if she was working at that time?
She was.
Where was she working at?
I think she was working for the city. No, not the city. The schools.
School?
Yeah.
School system? Do you know which school she was working for?
Technical college. That's who she was working for.
All right.
I think so.
All right. And on that Saturday, it was
Central
just
Georgia Tech.
right.
I think that's who she was working.
And on that Saturday, she came by and y'all had lunch together. Is that right?
Who is she? She brought lunch for him.
Okay. And would you see Carter and your daughter? Your granddaughter? Would you see them very often?
Not twice a month.
Okay. But in any event, you saw them on the Saturday before he passed away.
Right.
Did the child ever complain to you about being mistreated?
No. Like I said, he was a happy kid. Happy child.
I mean, that picture of him right up there, that's how he looked all the time. Is that right?
That's the way he looked when he was around me.
Okay, and he was rambunctious My name is Jeff Grew. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins here representing Ms. Davis. Let me ask you a few questions if I may. I'm sorry for your loss. Okay. When did you and Ms. Davis start seeing each other?
Me and Ms. Davis met in 2014.
Were you with the Warner Robins Fire Department at that time?
Before we met, no. I was in the hiring process
You were in the hiring process?
when we initially met.
All right. And where did y'all meet at? Did y'all meet in Warner Robins or somewhere else?
We met in Warner Robins.
All right. And when did you go to work for the fire department?
2014.
At some point in time, y'all moved in together, is that right?
Yes, sir.
When?
2017.
2017. Okay. And y'all moved into the Sandpiper Apartments, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that's off of Russell Parkway in Warner Robins, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
When y'all moved in together, was it just you two?
I lived in an apartment first, and then she moved in after she was pregnant.
All right. And was she teaching school then?
No, she was not.
Was she working in a dermatologist's office then?
Initially, when she first moved in, she was working at FedEx.
Working at FedEx, and then did she go to work at the dermatologist's office?
She worked at a dermatologist's office when we moved to the second apartment.
All right. Well, let's. I want to make sure we have a good timeline here. So, Carter was born on January the 1st. Excuse me, January the 14th of 2018. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And when he was born, you and Miss Davis lived there in Sandpiper Apartments. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Would it be fair to say that's where the child was conceived at?
Yes, sir.
Within a couple days of Carter being born, he had to go in the hospital. Was that right?
That's not right.
He didn't go in the hospital?
No, he did not.
did he go in the hospital at all during, say, the first month of his life?
I think he went to the hospital maybe 1 month or 2 months after, but not the first week or the second week.
Okay. And when he went to the hospital, were you employed by the fire department then?
Yes, sir.
And where did Karter go to the hospital at? Which hospital?
More than likely it'll be,
And if you don't know, that's fine.
yeah, I don't know.
You don't know where he was in the hospital at?
I'm not sure which time you're talking about.
I'm talking about the first time after he was born.
I don't recall.
But nonetheless, you and Miss Davis were living together in Sandpiper Apartments.
Yes, sir.
And that was in 2018, correct?
2017 is when we lived together. That's when we started living together.
Okay. But when Karter was born, Miss Davis brought him back to your apartment there in Sandpiper. Is that right?
Yes. We both brought him back.
Both brought him back. Okay. And that you three lived there together. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you lived there in that apartment there at Sandpiper, the three of you, until when?
Until the following year. We stayed in that apartment for 1 year of Karter's life.
Okay, until 2019?
Yes, sir.
And is that when you and Miss Davis and Karter moved to these apartments that are off of Lakeview Road?
Yes, sir.
And that's the apartment that's right there within, say, 200 or 300 yards of the pediatric place. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that was planned, was it not?
No, it was not.
It wasn't planned.
The plan was to have a nice apartment.
Have a nice apartment, and the fact that his doctor was there meant nothing.
It might have, but that wasn't the initial.
Okay, I mean, could it have meant something to Miss Davis?
Maybe, I cannot say which
Oh.
one.
And during this time, where was Miss Davis working at?
It was a period where she did not work, and she was in school for a portion of that time.
Where was she in school at?
Mercer.
Mercer University in Macon.
Yes, sir.
Was she taking online classes or in-person classes?
Objection on relevance, Judge.
The objection sustained.
All right. So, so how long was she? When did y'all move into the apartments over there at Lakeview?
I would say March of 2019.
Okay. And when was it that you moved out?
March of 2020.
All right. And was it just you three still there at the apartment when you moved out?
Yes, sir.
And you were still with the fire department, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And do you know if Miss Davis was a stay-at-home mom?
For a portion, she was.
Until when?
She got a job at a dermatology office in Lincoln.
All right. And do you know when that was?
I cannot recall.
All right. And did she stay there the entire time until y'all broke up in March of 2020?
Yes, sir. Or at the dermatologist's office?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you don't know, that's fine. Yeah. But in any event, the relationship fell apart in March 2020. Is that right?
Yes.
And is that when you were still with the fire department, right?
Yes.
And is that when you moved to Caitlin Drive?
Caitlin Circle.
Caitlin Circle. And that's over there near, which fire station is that you were working at then?
Fire station number 6.
And that's the one off Osegan?
Yes, sir.
And in Caitlin, where you were living at is, you were living in an apartment right there, is that right?
Yes.
All right. So when you left in March of 2020, did you and Ms. Davis have an agreement as to what sort of child support you would pay?
Yes, sir.
How much?
It was $580.
And that's an agreement that you two made?
Yes, sir.
And were you paying $580 starting in March of 2020?
Yes.
And so you paid it for every month until?
Until I got court ordered child support.
Okay. And the court order for child support, did you have to come down here to this courthouse to get an order to do that?
Yes, sir.
And the amount was $750
Yes, sir.
a month. Was that to come out of your, the $580 that you were paying, did that come out of your, was that deducted from your salary, or did you just pay that on your own?
That was the amount that we decided together for me to just pay her monthly.
Okay, you paid it up on your own,
Yes,
is that right? And you were brought down here for child support, what, was it November of 2020?
And I was taking it October.
October. And the money was to start when?
In November.
November. 1st of November?
Yes.
Okay. And would that come in one lump sum payment of $750?
No, sir.
Would it be divided twice a month type thing?
Yes.
All right. You were saying something about an overpayment. What was that about?
I paid the initial half before I knew that it was being deducted from my paycheck.
All right. And you felt as though Ms. Davis should pay you that money back?
I said if she would like to, she can pay me back.
If she would like?
Yeah, because I would pay.
That's how you said it?
Yes, sir. Okay.
So, once again, you kept the child, and you returned the child to Ms. Davis on the Thursday before he died, is that right?
I took him to daycare that morning.
You took him to daycare on that Friday morning?
Thursday morning.
On Thursday morning?
Yes, sir.
Did you pick him up from daycare on Thursday, or did she?
She did.
All right. So you didn't have anything to do with picking the child up on Friday, is that right?
No, sir.
Okay. And I guess at some point in time, you and Ms. Davis talked over the weekend about, well, she called you and wanted to know if you could keep the child. Did she do that on the weekend, or did she do that on the following Monday?
Can you repeat that for me?
Okay. You had testified earlier that you and Ms. Davis had talked, or she had asked you if you could take care of the child on Tuesday, the 17th. You recall that?
Yes.
And you told her that you could not because you had not your fire job, but a part-time job as EMS. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did you say anything to her that you would watch the child if she gave you that $350 back?
Incorrect. No.
That's incorrect.
That's wrong.
Oh. Now, but nonetheless, you did not agree to keep Karter on that Tuesday. Is that right?
I did not.
And you could have gotten out of that part-time job, couldn't you?
Yes, I could.
Pardon?
Yes, I could.
Okay, but you just didn't want to.
I didn't want to because I did not see my child for the entire weekend until Ms. Davis sprung upon me randomly after not talking to her or the kid for 3 days pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
I was texting saying, hey, you need to take off of work tomorrow.
But you could have seen Karter that entire Tuesday, couldn't you? Couldn't you?
Yes, I could.
But because you and Miss Davis were being disagreeable with each other, you drew the line in the sand. Is that a fair statement?
She drew the line in the sand when she told me I can't see my child, I can't FaceTime my child. That was a line in the sand.
But she offered for you to be able to see the child the next day?
After he was sick and about to die.
Okay, all right. Well, how did you know he was, did that go into your thought processes that you knew he was about to die?
No, sir.
No, even though you were under a child support order, you didn't have any sort of anything in writing approved by the court as to what sort of visitation rights you would have. Is that correct?
No, sir.
And for the most part, you and Miss Davis got along pretty good about that, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Just a second, Darren. So, sir, it's your testimony that when you dropped the child off at daycare at Miss Tharp's on that Thursday morning, that's the last time that you saw him?
Yes, sir.
How many other times did Miss Davis refuse you over the months to be able to see the child?
She would not.
Pardon?
She would not.
She would not.
No, sir.
Did she ever refuse you FaceTime before?
No, sir.
So this was the only time?
Yes, sir.
When you talked to her on that Monday about whether or not you could watch the child on Tuesday, did she mention to you that Mr. Benton was watching the child?
No, sir.
Did you know that he was watching the child?
I don't recall.
And you say you met this Mr. Benton a time or two, is that right?
Once.
Once? Was that at the fire station?
Yes, sir.
And Karter was there, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that went okay, did it not?
No, it did not.
The meeting didn't go okay?
No.
Was there a confrontation of some sort?
It was I wouldn't really say confrontation, it was a disagreement.
A disagreement between who?
Me and Miss Davis.
You and Miss Davis?
Yes.
I mean, you resented the fact, I guess, that she brought the child over there to your place of work?
Can you repeat that?
Pardon me?
Can you repeat your sentence? Can you repeat what you said?
Were you upset with Miss Davis because she brought the child over to your place of work?
No, sir. I love when he comes to my job.
But there was a disagreement? Is that because Mr. Benton was there?
It was a disagreement on meeting Mr. Benton at the time.
It was just for a few minutes, was it not?
To meet him?
Right.
She brought Karter over to the fire station. It was a Saturday. She brought him over because she said that he's been sad and he's been moping around, and she would like for me to just, bring him over to the fire station so he can play. And she did. She advised, hey, just to let you know, my boyfriend's with me. I said, that is fine. That's okay. He came, we played around the fire station for about, say, 30 minutes. And then after that, that's when she came and said, all right, it's time to go. I asked Ms. Davis, I said, hey, would you mind if I meet your boyfriend? Since he's around my kid, I would like to put a face to the name.
All right.
And she said, no, he would not like to meet you. So that made me say, I don't care if you're around my child, I'm going to know who you are.
Okay. Was this on the Saturday before the child died?
No, sir.
How far in the past was that?
Me and my son, we went on vacation to visit our mom, to visit my mom in October. We came back October 18th or October 19th. That was the following weekend after that, so it was still in October.
Okay. So that's the only, did you ever meet Mr. Benton then?
I attempted to meet him. I said I will meet this guy, so I walked to the car and tapped on the glass. He didn't get out of the car. He rolled the car window down. I said, hey, I'm Kadeem, I'm Karter's dad. Shook his hand, and that's our only interaction.
So there wasn't any problem between you and he?
No, it was not.
Did you have any other problems or repercussions from Ms. Davis because of this, this meeting?
No, sir. No.
Just a second, Sean, please. And I mean, sir, once again, you moved out in March of 2020, is that right?
Yes, sir.
During that period of time, of course, your baby died in November. During that period of time, did you yourself have a girlfriend that lived with you?
No, sir.
You never had a girlfriend that lived with you?
No, sir.
Did you ever have a girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
Who was that?
I was dating a girl named Tiara.
Tiara. And did you have the occasion to have Ms. Davis meet her?
No, sir.
You didn't want that to happen?
If it happened, it happened, but she never.
And Mr. Ambrose, you were currently in Gwinnett County, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which fire department were you for?
Gwinnett County Fire and Emergency Services.
Okay.
Forms, like the handwritten one, sent one, Dallas County Sheriff's Office, I'm reading. I said, you'll preach your name, you live here too, sir. Show me here. Just you here. You had any problems here? Well, it's all right, it's up to you. But anyway, preach your name here. It's on one, I let you hear his name there. You give the Dallas County Sheriff's Office and Warren Police Department state serve presence of waking out and waiting this days and taking necessary photos. I understand I have the right to withdraw consent at any time and of course the search won't be solved. Free and safe. That's all we want to do. You guys close it. Hey, Doctor. I just want to let you know.
And stopping at 45 seconds.
Sorry, what?
45 seconds, or 45 minutes, Judge, I apologize. Have another for this witness. Ms. Crew.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Also, good to see you again. This, once again, you were called to go to the pediatric place there on Lakeview Road, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You recall about what time it was?
I don't know. Thought about it.
Okay. The apartment complex that we've seen in this video to the pediatric place is less than 300 yards away. Is that a fair statement?
I don't know, sir. I haven't got it written down.
Okay. I mean, you don't have any recollection of it?
It's very close to Lakeview.
Okay. They're on the same road.
Correct.
And that's within the city limits of Warner Robins, is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
So I take it in your many years you patrolled that area numerous times.
Yeah.
Once again, when you went to the pediatric place there at First on Lakeview, did you, Miss Davis, did you follow her out there, or was she in the ambulance, or?
Nothing.
Where was she at, do you know?
I don't.
Okay. She could have already been out there at the hospital, or do you know?
I don't know.
But you followed the ambulance, is that right?
Correct.
I take it that you weren't at the Beach County Hospital very long, is that right?
I wouldn't say so, sir.
Less than 30 minutes.
Approximately.
And then that you were instructed to go back or go to the apartment there that you were at, is that right?
That's correct.
There's the date on this, at the very end of this, is 13/09/25. Is that a correct date, or is that a correct time, or do you have any recollection of it?
I'm not sure. I believe that might be a correct time. I don't know, sir.
But nonetheless, you were out there for the entirety of this conversation that you had with Miss Davis and Mr. Benton, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then there at the end is when Deputy Collins came from the House County Sheriff's Department to go through the place, is that right?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Who else was there? Was there someone there from DFACS?
Yes, sir.
Was Marcus Williams there from DFACS?
I believe so.
Do you know if Juan Herrera from the Warner Robins Police Department was there at this time?
At that time, I'm not sure, sir. I don't recall if Don Juan was already there, but I do know that he did eventually come back with him.
Oh. Did you hang around for that, or did you leave, go back in service?
I believe I hung around, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Unless I was relieved by Sergeant Collins.
Okay, at the conclusion of this video, did Miss Davis leave?
I don't recall. I believe she might have stayed on scene.
Okay, but certainly she wasn't allowed to go on the scene while Officer Herrera and Deputy Collins were inside, is that right?
That's correct.
Just a second, Charlie. Officer, I thank you for your service.
Hi. You were pleased with you?
Thank you, Your Honor. Investigator, good to see you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, Jeff Grew, I hope your family's doing well.
Yes, sir. Everybody okay? Thank you.
Once again, you were, based on your job as a crime scene investigator, you were requested to go to the original Beach County Hospital there in what's considered Byron, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you went out there, you took numerous photographs of the baby, is that right?
Yes, sir. The ER bed.
As a result of that, you were, you got out there a little bit before noon on that particular day, is that right?
Yes, sir. It's actually, that was called I think 11:30. I arrived at 11:49.
11:49. And that you stayed out there and took photographs, and you were out there, 30, 45 minutes or so, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
At that particular time, you then followed, or who was it that actually took the baby to the morgue?
The EMS. I follow EMS, yeah, from the...
Right. And you got there 30 minutes or so later, is that right?
We arrived at HCMC more at 1300, 1301.
All right. And once the child was delivered there to the morgue, you were go to the crime scene, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? And you met with Deputy Collins from the Sheriff's Department, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And he's with the Sheriff's Office, and you're with Warner Robins, but y'all were working together on this?
Yeah, we kind of, whatever they tell us to do, what they do, and then we do what they want in our part as well. Yeah.
Okay. And I take it that you stayed out there for a couple hours or so at the apartment there on Lakeview, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I released the scene at 15:40.
Okay. That would have been 3:40 in the afternoon, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then from there, you eventually returned to the police department at about 5:30 that night, is that correct?
17:30, yes, sir.
Okay. I take it that the photographs that we looked at, all these photographs, you took a lot more photographs than that, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you probably took more than 100 more,
Yeah,
is that correct?
yes, sir.
And every one of the pictures you provided to the district attorney,
Yes, sir. We,
that you know of.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, as far as all these photographs are concerned, you took a lot of picture of stains. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Stains of carpet, pillows, maybe some sheets. That's what you took stains
Yes,
of.
sir.
I mean, did you actually cut them out?
I only I took the pillows and I cut the one in the child's bed.
All right. And for those,
Piece of mat, yeah, I collected the sheet and collected a piece of mattress as well from the child's bed, small bed.
and you provided that evidence, did you not, to whom? Who did you use it?
When we bring the evidence, we seal the evidence and we turn it into our evidence holding area at the police department.
Okay. And so it was locked up, is that right?
Yes, sir. They take custody after I release it to them.
Okay. Do you know which detective was in charge of all of this?
Well, from Houston County, it was Collins.
Right.
Yeah, but at the PD, when we turn things in, he goes into the property room.
With Warner Robins?
Yes, sir.
Right. And so Warner Robins was in charge of all of that potential evidence?
Keeping all the evidence there until somebody sent it to anywhere, to the lab or comes here.
Do you know if anybody ever sent it to the lab?
I don't know, sir.
I mean, you haven't been made aware of that?
No, sir.
So all these stains, you don't know what it was?
No, sir. We just did the collection of the stains.
Right. Just the collection. You can't, I mean, you have no idea what it was?
No, sir.
All right. Now, how many crime scenes do you figure in all your years that you've had to process?
Over 800.
Okay. And a lot of those are, you go to a crime scene on Francis Street after there's been a shooting, you go out there and get shell casings and anything that you can find. You put one of these placards down to try to identify each particular shell casing. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, we didn't have any. I mean, you didn't collect any weapons or anything of that nature, did you? At this particular
No, not at this particular scene, no, sir.
I mean, did you look for? I mean, did you receive information that this child possibly had died from some sort of blunt force trauma?
Not at the time.
Okay. But did you look for or find anything or photograph or collect anything that would indicate that it could possibly be used as a weapon against somebody?
Well, I do the search, a complete search, and if I come across anything with a stain, anything that can lead me to suspect anything, it will be collected.
Okay. But you didn't collect anything though?
No, sir.
Did you collect, or did you see or collect anything that, based on your years of experience, knew to be blood?
Well, the stains, some of the stains are kind of represent kind of pinkish color. Could be light discolored blood. It also could be as well. Yeah, some of them, but it was kind of pinkish. So I mean, I cannot tell you 100% we didn't do any testing of blood, but it kind of represent, you know, similar stains of blood that I've collected in the past.
But you just collected, you didn't do any analyzing of anything?
No, sir.
So you don't know what the results of any of that are?
No, sir.
Could you tell from your search and collection as to whether or not there was any evidence inside the apartment of a struggle of some sort?
No struggle. Things were not normal where it's supposed to be, but not like, let's say, in a struggle situation, no, sir.
All right. I mean, you've been to crime scenes, have you not, investigator, where you've went into rooms where there's furniture upended and trash all over the place and windows broken and stuff like that? Nothing?
No, sir.
There wasn't any evidence of any damage to any walls or windows or doors or anything?
No, that I could see. No.
And I take it that you went throughout the house, you just didn't go, you just didn't go in the child's room and the kitchen and the master bedroom, is that correct?
I did the entire apartment, sir.
Right, the living room, did you also go to the laundry room?
Yes, sir.
Because you did a sketch of this whole place, is that right?
I did.
And there was also a balcony that was on the back of the apartment. Did you check the balcony also?
Yeah, it was locked. It was locked at the time.
It was locked?
But it was fine, yeah.
But did you ever have the occasion to go out to the balcony?
Yeah, it was remarkable. It was fine. It
was unremarkable?
Not yet.
And there was a storage room that opened in from the balcony. Did you go in that storage room?
No, sir.
Okay. But all the time and all the pictures you showed out there, this is all that you have to report, is that right?
Yes, sir. That's what I did, yeah.
Just a second, John. I have nothing further for the investigator. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Holland.
Investigator, just a few more questions about the stains. You described them as being pinkish in color.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in your experience, you have seen a lot of stains, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Does pinkish in color necessarily have to mean blood?
Some of them kind of light color, but it do reflect possible being blood stains.
Could it be something like vomit?
Yes, ma'am.
Could it be something like juice?
Yeah, could be.
So a pinkish stain wouldn't necessarily mean it's blood?
Not if it be tested. To our experience, we kind of determine certain stains, but until it's been tested.
And you yourself, just to clarify, don't do the testing, it's sent to the GBI for testing?
Yeah, I submit everything so they can submit it to the GBI. I don't know if they did, but. Yeah.
Thank you, investigator.
Real quick, Your Honor, please. Real quick.
Yep.
Once again, investigator, you've had the occasion, have you not, to do crime scene investigations where there's been blood spatter on the walls, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
There wasn't any blood spatter anywhere in this house?
No, sir. No, I can see it.
Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Bird, please review.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. call you Sergeant?
Sure.
Sergeant Collins, it's always good to see you.
Sure, thank you.
Let me ask you several questions. Once again, you originally got the call, did you not, to go to the hospital, Peach County Hospital over in Byron, is that right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And by the time that you got over there, the child had already been pronounced deceased.
I believe that's correct.
Did you, was Ms. Davis there?
She was.
Okay, did you interview her then, or talk to her then?
I had a brief contact with her before leaving the hospital.
And was the contact that you had with her that she needed to go back to the apartment so somebody could walk through the apartment?
During our conversation, I asked her if I could meet her apartment after meeting her.
And she did, in fact, comply with that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Benton was with her also, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So it's well, let me ask you this: when the child was pronounced deceased, did you go with the child to the morgue at the hospital in Warner Robins?
I went into, it wasn't in the morgue, I went into the room where he was located.
Okay, but when the child was removed from, or taken from the Peach County Hospital to go to the morgue in Warner Robins, is that right?
I'm not sure where the child went after the hospital. I was told by the coroner he would be going for autopsy to the GBI's office.
All right. So I take it that you left, that you left from the Peach County Hospital and then went to the apartment there on Lakeview, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Davis was there with Mr. Benton, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And also Officer Boytel was there from Warner Robins, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, you talked to Ms. Davis to see about getting consent to search the inside of the apartment, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you search it then, or did you wait for Officer Herrera to come, or Investigator Herrera to come from Warner Robins?
I waited for Investigator.
All right. But in any event, you got Ms. Davis to sign a handwritten or makeshift, if you would, consent search, is that correct?
That's correct.
When the place was searched, was it just you and Investigator Herrera?
I don't recall who all was in the apartment. I believe there was one other officer. Maybe somebody assisted me, I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Do you recall seeing Meredith Edwards from the Warner Robins Police Department over there?
No, sir.
Do you think it may have been Officer Boytel that went in to help search the place?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. Was the purpose of searching the apartment to clear it, or was it to gather evidence?
It was to document the scene.
Document the scene. And at any point in time, did you yourself gather evidence, or did you just watch Investigator Herrera do that?
I just observed. I did not collect evidence.
And did you stay there through the entire time that Investigator Herrera was photographing and collecting evidence? Did you stay the entire time?
Yes, sir. I believe I did.
Okay. And I take it that Investigator Herrera gathered quite a bit of evidence. In other words, pillows, and do you recall anything that he may have taken?
I don't know all the specifics of his collection. I didn't observe each collection that he made.
Okay. And that was documented?
Yes, sir. They document each thing that they collect.
He would have done that just himself, or did you help him do that?
No, sir. He would have done that himself. I was not part of crime scene investigation.
in gathering that, pillows and do you know as well as he cut any of the carpet?
I do not know.
I mean, if he cut any of the carpet or taken samples from a carpet or bed mattress or anything of that nature, you would have seen that, would you not?
I was present, but I did not follow him around the entire time or help him collect him or anything of that nature.
Investigator Herrera gathering this information, did he give it to you?
The evidence, the collection of
Right. So, to your knowledge, did he take it with him?
To my knowledge, yes.
At this particular point in time, would you have been considered the chief law enforcement person investigating this case at that time?
At the time, I would have been assigned investigator.
Okay, and that would have been in conjunction with the Warren Police Department too, is that right?
Yes.
The items that were gathered, I take it as standard protocol for law enforcement to take it back to their office and put it in an evidence vault, is that correct? Generally speaking?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if any of these items were ever turned over to you?
They were never turned over to me.
Okay, so I'm asking this question. Do you know if anything was turned over to the GBI?
I do not.
Okay, so I mean, you didn't do that, no? If anything was turned over to the GBI, that was not something that you did?
That I was involved in.
Do you know if anybody else from the Houston County Sheriff's Department did that?
I'm not sure, sir.
Now, you testified that you left the employ of Sheriff Talton in February of 2021, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So at the time that you left the employ of the Sheriff's Department, to your knowledge, this case had not been taken to the grand jury of Houston County.
The time I left, sir, I was still waiting on, the sheriff's office still waiting on final autopsy results to report.
Now, you've testified that who was it, as far as this information that you relayed to Ms. Davis in this interview of December the 7th of 2020 concerning the injuries to the child, who did you get that information from?
The injuries about the child?
Right.
I was informed by staff at the hospital of his condition coming in.
Okay. So, I mean, did you receive this information from Danny Galpin, who was the coroner at that time?
Danny Galpin was present when I was at the hospital, and I did receive information from him.
Okay, so you received it from Danny Galpin.
I received information from different parties. So Danny Galpin provided information that he had, and then the staff at the hospital provided their information.
Was any of the information that you received in writing?
Not at that time.
Or at any time did you receive anything in writing?
I had statements later.
I'm not talking about statements from people that worked at the, can I take, did you receive the written statements from all of the employees at the pediatric place?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Besides that, well, did you ever talk to the medical examiner, Dr. Brown?
From GBI?
Right.
I believe I had a brief conversation with him on the phone.
And once again, all this information that you received was before you left the sheriff's office in February of 2021. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who was it that you turned over to once you left were collected from the apartment were ever sent to the crime lab, not necessarily by you, but law enforcement agency?
I don't know. It was in at that time.
Now, we've watched these videos that you had with Miss Davis. Once again, one was on the day after, on the 18th of November, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the next one was done 3 weeks or so later on the 7th of December, is that right?
Yes, sir.
In between the time of the first and the second one, Miss Davis had moved to the Atlanta area, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And once again, at no time did you ever advise her of Miranda rights?
No, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
I recall in the first statement that she gave to you, November the 18th, 2020, that she was extremely emotional, was she not?
Yes, sir, she was.
And at one point in time, you told her, did you not, don't blame yourself for this?
I don't know that I can use those words. I'd have to look back. I recall saying you couldn't have known while I was speaking with her what was going on.
But, once again, the jury can recollect for themselves what they heard you say.
Yes, sir.
So I take it at some point in time between the first interview and the second interview is when you gathered information from either the coroner or people at the hospital or something.
Between the first and second interview, at one point I was contacted by the coroner and Gattie.
All right. And I think you personally met with him?
I spoke with him on the phone.
For how long a period of time?
A few minutes.
A few minutes. And did he ever reduce to writing anything that he told you?
Well, I'm sure at some point he did, but I didn't have that at the time. I wrote down what he said as he said it.
Okay. Did you later learn to understand that what was the reason for the delay in the autopsy report? Do you know?
I believe workload from the GBI.
Okay. Was there any concern about any toxicology reports or any other reports that GBI needed to do on the child's body?
Yes, sir. All that was concerned being waiting for by the sheriff's office.
Yeah. And if you left in February of 2021, that was only like 2 or 3 months. Is that correct from the date of the death?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would it surprise you to know that the autopsy report was not done until the end of September of that year? I mean, you were already gone by then.
I was gone, yes, sir.
Did you ever have a chance to go over the autopsy report?
No, sir.
Were you ever asked to by the district attorney or anyone else in law enforcement?
I recently went over pictures from the apartment, but I did not go over the actual autopsy report.
And the pictures that you described, those are the ones that basically we've seen. Well, you weren't in here, but the photographs that were taken by Investigator Herrera.
Yes, sir.
Now, the interview that you did with Miss Davis on December the 7th, that was played yesterday and part of today, that didn't include the entire conversation that you had. Is that correct? Or do you remember? In other words, do we see everything?
Yes, sir. As far as I'm aware, I don't recall any other interviews with her that's not recorded. That's what you're asking.
Well, I mean, And what I'm saying is there was more to the interview than what this jury is saying.
I concluded the interview at the end of this. And in this interview, she left.
And once again, she was not placed under arrest.
No, she was never in custody.
Did you seek warrants against her?
No, sir.
Did you seek warrants against Mr. Benton?
No, sir.
Would that have been your responsibility to seek warrants?
No, sir, not necessarily.
Whose job would it have been?
These type cases, these cases get forwarded to the district attorney's office.
So there were never any warrants that were taken against Ms. Davis?
I never took a warrant against Ms. Davis.
Then are you aware, based on what you know of the case, that there were never any warrants taken against Ms. Davis?
Mr. Cruz, your questions for Lieutenant Bettis?
Thank you, Your Honor. Lieutenant Bettis, good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
We go back a long way, do we not?
We do, sir.
I'm not going to be very long with you, but ask you a few things. This incident occurred on or about November the 17th of 2020, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, you were the lieutenant that was in charge of all of the investigators, is that right?
That's correct.
And the on-call investigator was Sergeant Pete Collins, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Once again, you didn't go to the scene there on Lakeview Road, did you?
No, sir.
Did you? When the investigation that the sergeant did on this case included, did it not, a gathering of possible evidence from the scene? Is that right?
I believe there was some items gathered from the scene.
Okay. But you answered Mr. Joyne's question, and I don't want to belabor the point, but the evidence was taken by Investigator Herrera with the Warren Police Department. Is that correct? That you know of?
That's my understanding.
Okay. And protocol would be for the Warren Police Department to hold that evidence until such time it was needed either by somebody that can analyze it. Is that right?
Assuming it was something that needed to be analyzed, yes.
Were you made aware that there was evidence collected at the scene that should be analyzed?
Yes.
In information provided to you, being the supervisor by Sergeant Collins, did he ever inform you that the Warren Police Department had taken photographs, had collected possible evidence that could be used in this case?
I don't think we had a specific discussion about what was photographed or what was taken. I knew that Warren Robins had processed a crime scene, which is very common when we work cases within their jurisdiction. And they always photograph and take anything, take evidence, whether that's their doing or directed by us. I wasn't aware of that specifically.
But once again, 3 months or so later, Sergeant Collins left the sheriff's office, and that left the case in whose lap?
Left it what, sir?
Who's the case left with?
It was left with me.
Okay.
But as I testified, it was mostly completed from that point. In May of 21, after he left, it was requested that we send the case file to the medical examiner's office
copy of it, and we did that. So they knew what was there, what was collected. If they had wanted to examine something or test something further, they certainly could have requested that. We would have seen that.
Are you aware that soon after the child died, that toxicology reports were done on the child as far as, were you aware of that? That there were toxicology reports that were done and completed by the GBI and turned over to law enforcement?
The only thing I was aware of was the final report that we got in late 21. They did a separate toxicology that was sent in. I'm not familiar with that.
Would reports of that nature be necessary in order for there to be an autopsy report?
That's usually part of the autopsy. We wait on that. Generally, that's one of the things that we have to wait on is the toxicology and things for them to include that in the final report.
Right. But once again, the sergeant leaves, you take over the case in February of 2021, right?
Yes, I'm basically monitoring the case at that point.
Okay, by monitoring, what do you do?
I'm not doing anything on a day-to-day basis. The case, as I said, was already investigated. We were waiting on the final autopsy report to find out exactly what caused the death and everything, so we could proceed and finish the investigation.
So the autopsy report was done after you had this Zoom meeting with Dr. Eisenstadt and Dr. Brown and Eric Edwards of the district attorney's office and other people that worked in their office. Is that right? That was in September?
Yes.
All right. And within a couple of days, the report was generated.
I don't know when it was generated, so I guess there's a date on it, but it was given to me on November 12th.
All right. If the report, do you have a copy of the report with you?
I do.
The report reflected it was actually signed off on by Dr. Brown and provided or completed on September the 29th of 2021. Yes, last page shows that. In the meantime, up until this time, had you ever talked to Ms. Davis?
No.
Do you know if she had ever called your office?
I'm not aware. I assume she talked to Sergeant Collins, but I have never talked to her.
Okay. Do you know as well not anyone in your office ever talked with Ms. Davis from the time that Sergeant Collins left until you had this Zoom meeting in September of 2021?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right. But in any event, you get the report. The report's provided to you in November, basically in the middle of November of 2021. Is that right?
Correct.
And you took it upon yourself to contact Ms. Davis to see if she could come meet with you?
Yes.
And she came right on down?
About a week later.
There wasn't any real delay?
About a week later.
All right. And the first time I guess you met her was when she sat down at the table with you?
Which is on video, yes, sir. That's been my only contact other than phone call.
All right. When she met with you, she told you that she had in fact moved, she had taken a job, she had left this area and taken a job up at Peachtree Ridge High School in Gwinnett County. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did you check on that?
To verify she was employed as a teacher? No, sir.
Objection on relevant stage. All right, I'll move on. But in any event, based on your reading of the autopsy report, at that point in time, you considered her a suspect, did you not?
Yes.
And once again, you did not advise of any Miranda rights. Is that right?
That's correct.
Did she come with an attorney?
She did not.
She mentioned during the conversation that she had an attorney, did she not?
She didn't say she had one. She asked if she needed to bring one, and I told her she could bring one anytime she wanted.
But
she said she did not wish to bring an attorney.
Okay, but at the end of her conversation, she mentioned that she had an attorney. Is that
Oh,
right?
you're talking about the video?
Right.
Oh, yes. when I mentioned that she could possibly be charged, she said, well, I have an attorney. And I think my response was something like, well, an attorney can't keep you from being charged with a crime.
But she asked you, did she not, if she could have a copy of the autopsy report?
She did.
And you wouldn't give it to her?
No, sir.
Why?
Because we don't give out copies of our case file until the case is completed.
So, I mean...
And I told her that after once it's completed, she was welcome to have a copy.
Okay. But you also said that she asked if her attorney could get it, because you didn't think that they would give it to the attorney.
We wouldn't give it. Now, they could get it through the DA's office during discovery. She could request it from the coroner's office if she wanted to.
Now, this was, once again, this conversation that you had with her, is that the last time that you talked to her?
It is.
And that was, once again, December the 9th of 2021, correct?
Yes, sir.
And she was free to leave after that.
She was free to leave and she did leave.
And at any point in time, did you ever arrest her?
I did not.
Did you ever take warrants?
I did not.
You presented to the district attorney's office for them to consider this, is that right?
It was, the agreement, discussion with the DA's office was that once we completed everything, it would be turned over to their office. They would review everything, and then it would be presented to a grand jury for an indictment.
And when this matter was presented to the grand jury, it was when?
I could tell you, sir, I wasn't involved.
About 2 years later. Is that fair statement?
I would assume, but again, I wasn't there.
Okay. You weren't the
Objection, Your Honor, on relevance.
Objections overruled. It is already in evidence, however, that this case was presented to the grand jury in October of 2023. Moving on.
All right. But you didn't present this case to the grand jury?
I did not know.
During the period of time between when you had this meeting with Ms. Davis and the time that it was indicted, did you continue to work on the case?
There wasn't anything for us to work on after I completed writing it up and I turned over my case file.
Ms. Davis, just make sure that we have your complete full name. Tell us that, please.
Kianna Davis.
What is your middle name?
Aisha Renee.
And tell me the date that you were born.
December 12th, 1990.
And where were you born at?
In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Ms. Davis, are you a high school graduate?
I am.
Where did you graduate from and when?
Warner Robins High School in 2009.
Have you lived in Warner Robins most of your life?
Warner Robins in South Carolina, yes.
Are you married? Have you ever been married?
No.
Did you give birth to any children?
I did.
And who was that child?
Karter Ambrose.
What day was Karter born?
January 14th, 2018.
And where was he born at?
In Macon, Georgia.
And when did Karter pass away?
He passed away November 17th of 2020.
Who's the father of Karter?
Kadeem Ambrose.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Davis. Were you and Mr. Ambrose, Kadeem Ambrose, were you living with each other at the time that Karter was conceived?
At the time that he was conceived, no, but when I found out I was pregnant, yes.
Okay. And where were you living at that time?
At the time that he was conceived.
Right.
I believe I was back at my grandfather's house.
And who was your grandfather?
James Kennedy.
And Mr. Kennedy testified yesterday, is that right?
He did.
And what is his address?
309 Bonnie Drive, Warner Robins, Georgia.
And is that off Russell Parkway?
It is.
Is that where you're living at now?
It is currently.
So at some point in time, you were with child, is that correct?
Yes.
And Kadeem Ambrose was the father of that child, is that right?
That's correct.
At some point in time, did you and he move in together?
We did.
When would that have been? Approximately.
Approximately, maybe immediately after I found out I was pregnant, or maybe like a month or two afterwards.
And where did you move in with Mr. Ambrose?
We moved to Sandpiper Apartments.
And that's in Warner Robins, is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that off Russell Parkway?
That is correct.
So at this apartment, until the baby was born, it was just you and he?
Correct.
Where was he working at?
He was a firefighter for the firefighter.
And he testified, did he not, yesterday?
Correct.
And at that time, where were you employed at?
I believe I was working at FedEx at the time, but then I switched jobs to a dermatology office.
Where was this dermatology office at?
In Maine.
And this was while you were pregnant with Karter, is that correct?
Correct.
Were you in college at the time?
I believe I was taking some extra classes. I had already gotten one degree, but I was getting certified for a specific programming language.
Okay. Where did you get your bachelor's degree from?
Mercer University.
Out of Macon?
Yes.
And what was that degree in?
Software application development and human-computer interactions.
And you say that you were taking some extra classes at that time, is that right?
I was taking, this was before going to Mercer, but I was taking extra. I had already had a degree in web design and web development, so I was just continuing my education by taking more classes to get certified in a specific programming language.
Okay, what specific program were you going into?
Java programming.
Pardon me?
Java is a programming language, so I was getting certified for that specific language.
Okay. Were these classes that were going towards a master's degree?
After the software application development, yes, I did get a master's degree after that.
All right. So at some point in time, after you got your degree from Mercer, did you begin teaching?
I was teaching before already. I was working for Central Georgia Technical College as an industrial aide, so essentially I was teaching.
Tell us, you were working for where?
Central Georgia Technical College. I was working as an industrial aide, so essentially my job was to run all of the technology in the classrooms that were being ran by the college for dual enrollment during high school.
And Central, this is off Cohen Walker, is that right?
Correct.
And when did you start working for them?
I believe around June of 2019.
Okay, and this was after the baby was born, is that correct?
Correct.
Were you and Kadeem Ambrose still living together at that time?
Yes, we were.
And tell the jury, if you would, if you worked for the college there, where that job took you to.
My main location and my office was in Jones County in Milledgeville, Georgia, where I spent most of my time until COVID happened. And then due to low staffing, I had to then take over other offices in the Warner Robins area.
Oh, okay. You take other offices at other schools, is that correct?
Correct.
Which other schools would you work in?
The Houston County Career Academy here in Warner Robins.
And that's off Russell Parkway?
That is correct.
Okay. And where else?
The Central Georgia Technical College at Cohen Walker.
Okay. And were you still working at the school at Jones County?
Yes, I was doing all of them.
Okay. How often would you go to these different locations? Would you report every morning to the college and then drive to either the Jones County High School, or how would you do that?
It would depend depend on which classes I was monitoring that day. So you typically get a schedule for the semester at the beginning of the semester, and it depends on whether or not the teacher was canceling class or not. They will let me know, and I would either go to the location or I would stay in my office in Jones County.
Would you do this 5 days a week?
5 days a week, yes, sir.
Okay. And in doing this, Karter, did you continue to teach? When did you leave teaching here for the college?
I signed my contract with Gwinnett County Public Schools in October of 2021. So I was scheduled to leave here and start working there in January of 2021. I'm sorry.
Make sure we have the dates right.
I'm sorry. I signed my contract October of 2020 with Gwinnett County, and I was supposed to start working with Gwinnett County in January of 2021.
And Karter passed away in November.
Yes, he ended up passing away in November.
Now, so I take it, well, because we're doing these things in a sequence, you, after Karter passed away, did you subsequently move to Gwinnett County?
I moved to Gwinnett County when I started my job, so I would say maybe a week before the semester began, so around January 6th of 2021.
And what school did you work at?
At the time, I was scheduled at Peachtree Ridge High School.
And how long did you stay there?
I stayed for 1.5 years because I was promoted after that.
And did you stay at that school, or did you go to another school?
I went to open a school. That was part of our promotion to help open the computer science department at Second High School.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Yep.
Ms. Davis, tell us again as to which high school you went to work for after Peachtree Ridge.
Second High School.
Okay, spell that.
SECKINGER.
And that was a high school, a public high school
Yes, it had just opened 3 years ago.
in Gwinnett County.
Yes.
And you stayed there until that you were arrested on this charge.
That's correct.
And that was when?
That was in October of 2023.
And since you were arrested, you were prevented from continuing to teach. Is that correct? At that school.
Because I cannot physically be there, yes. But that was my only condition.
And you're currently living with your grandfather under house arrest. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And that's in Warner Robins.
That is correct.
Objection, Your Honor. This isn't relevant.
The objection sustained, the jury will disregard any reference to the conditions of her pretrial release. Moving on.
All right. Now, Ms. Davis, let me ask you this. Karter, his date of birth again was when?
January 14, 2018.
And at the time that Karter was born, did he develop any problems as far as being sickly?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Once again, you were living in San Piper Apartments with Mr. Ambrose?
I was.
Was Karter hospitalized soon born?
I'm not sure how soon it was, but he was hospitalized for sure, right before his first birthday.
And for what type of problems?
He was having breathing issues and he was admitted into the NICU for a few days.
The NICU where?
In Macon.
At the time that this happened, were you and Mr. Ambrose still living with each other?
Yes, we were.
At some point in time, who was your doctor for Karter?
Dr. Waters.
And where was Dr. Waters at?
At Primary Pediatrics.
And that's the primary pediatrics that we've been talking about all week, is that correct?
That's correct.
At some point in time, did you and Mr. Ambrose move from where you were living at Sandpiper Apartments?
We did.
Where did you move to?
We moved to 6080 Lakeview Road, which was the doctor's office. It was right next to the doctor's office.
Okay, how far away?
There's 6082, so I would say maybe a few yards, not even.
And was that primarily a reason for you moving to this location?
Yes, because of my child's medical conditions, I felt more comfortable moving closer to the doctor's office.
Would it be a fair statement to say that you spent a lot of time at pediatrics, at the pediatric place?
A lot of time, yes. I would say, yes.
And you were aware, or you not, of all the medical reports that were provided by their business, is that correct?
That is correct.
And as far as you know, that's a true and accurate representation of the times that you took Karter to that place for treatment, is that right?
That is correct.
What type of treatments?
You mean what type of things that he go for? He's been for allergic reactions. He's mainly been for his breathing issues and his minor checkups, regular checkups, and any COVID tests and anything that he needs to be done.
At some point in time, did the relationship between yourself and Mr. Ambrose, did it dissolve or end?
It did.
When would that have been?
I really can't tell you when it started to dissolve, but I know for sure when he moved out in March of 2020.
Okay. He moved out in March of 2020, is that right?
Correct.
And you were still teaching at the college, is that right?
That is correct.
During this period of time, you say it was March of 2020 when Mr. Ambrose moved out.
That is correct.
Did you maintain contact with him from the time that he left until Karter passed away?
Contact as in regarding the child, yes.
Was he paying child support?
He was. We had an agreement before I actually initiated the court order child support.
All right. Now, during this particular period of time from after Mr. Ambrose left, where was Karter being? Was he getting daycare, or how were you doing about keeping when you worked?
Yes, so I would take him to daycare before work, and then I would pick him up in the afternoon unless his father was off from work or was able to, because his schedule didn't allow him to take him to work because he didn't get off in the time frame.
All right. And where was this daycare at?
Off of Russell Parkway near one of the middle school.
Would that have been with Ms. Stark that testified this week? And how often would Ms. Stark keep Karter?
She would keep him pretty much every day unless I had a day off or his father had a day off.
And did that involvement between yourself and Mr. Ambrose, was that fairly successful as far as looking after Karter?
Sure, yes.
No, there weren't any problems with that?
No, because we did everything around the state.
And the schedule that Mr. Ambrose worked with the fire department was, as he testified yesterday, 24 on, 48 off. Okay. And you recognize that he had a part-time job.
That's correct.
Now, let me move on to November of 2020. Up until then, was Karter a happy child?
Yes, very happy.
And for the most part, was he fairly healthy?
For the most part, other than his medical conditions.
And if there was a problem with Karter, you would take him over to the pediatric place, is that correct? Are you fairly regular over there?
Yes, I'm a regular.
Ms. Davis, I'm not going to, and you know, Mr. Dwayne may ask, but I'm not going to get into, we've all heard what happened on the 17th of November. At that particular point in time, the day that Karter passed, where were you at physically?
The day that he passed, I was at work.
Where at?
In Milledgeville, Virginia.
And that was for one of the high schools up there, is that right?
Johnson County High School.
And Mr. Benton was watching Karter, is that correct? Did you, when you found out that Karter was in distress, where did you go to? Where did you rush to?
I was on the phone with Mr. Benton, and he informed me that they were transporting him to the emergency room, so I met them at Pediatric County Emergency.
Now, the information that you provided to the sergeant in this matter, and also to Lieutenant Meadows, and we heard the videos. To your recollection and way of thinking, is all that true and accurate to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
As far as the timetable is concerned, did you lay that out for Sergeant Collins and also for Lieutenant Meadows?
I did.
The Monday night before Karter passed on Tuesday, did you contact his father, Mr. Ambrose, as to whether or not he could watch the child?
I did.
And why was that?
Because I felt more comfortable with him being home with either me or Mr. Ambrose. However, I could not take off work that day, the next day. So I asked Mr. Ambrose if he could possibly take off work to watch him.
And he would not, is that correct?
That is correct.
Were y'all going through a little bit of a spat as far as the child support order is concerned at that time?
I was not. I think that I don't think he agreed with my going to do it through the court system. So I don't think we weren't really on good terms because of that.
But anyway, you went to work on that Tuesday.
Correct.
Ms. Davis, let me ask you this, as far as did you ever do anything to harm your child?
No.
I mean, this jury has to decide these charges against you. Was this child ever harmed or hurt or injured by you or in your presence? Now, Mr. Benton, from time to time, had been at your place and looked after Karter, is that correct?
That is
Your sworn testimony, has Mr. Benton ever done anything in your presence or to your knowledge where he would harm this child?
No.
Did you ever take any action to where as though you felt like you were being negligent in taking care of the needs of Karter?
No.
Do you recall the child at any point in time falling or hurting himself or being in an accident of some sort there at the residence?
No, I do not.
The Saturday before, you were at your granddaddy's house, is that right?
That's correct.
Did you keep a close eye on Karter the whole time?
Yes, because he's always up under me.
Ms. Davis, this happened almost 6 years ago, and do you still remember what happened during those days before?
Vaguely.
As you have explained once again what happened then to Sergeant Collins and Lieutenant Meadows, do you stand by what you said?
Absolutely.
And also Marcus Jackson from DFAX was there, is that correct?
That is correct.
During the period of time after Karter passed away, did you try to stay in touch with the sheriff's department or law enforcement of some sort as to what was going on with the investigation?
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, what would you do?
I was consistently calling them for the 3 years.
And who would you talk to, do you know?
They would never come to the phone. I was always referred to the assistant to leave my number, and that they would get back to me, and they would never get back to me, which is why I continue to call.
Would that just be law enforcement, or did you also try to contact the district attorney's office?
I would contact one of our police department, the sheriff's department, and the district attorney's office.
And you heard the testimony of Sergeant Collins, and you met with him, did you not? Right after Karter passed away, and then a few weeks later, is that right? Did you ever talk to him anymore?
We did have one phone conversation, and that's all.
And when was the next time you heard from anybody from the sheriff's department?
I did not hear from anyone from the sheriff's department after my last meeting, or Sergeant Collins.
Okay. And at some point, have you heard from Lieutenant Meadows? Is that right?
A year later, yes.
And you drove down to meet with him, is that right?
That is correct.
And are you standing by the conversation or the information that you provided him at that meeting on December of 2021?
Correct.
Did you still continue to try to get in touch with with law enforcement about this?
Yes, for 2 more years.
Did they ever call for you to come down here and meet with them anymore?
No, they did not.
The whole time you were teaching in Gwinnett County, is that right?
That is correct.
In addition to law enforcement, did you also talk to the coroner's office?
I never spoke with the coroner's office.
Ms. Davis, you're under oath. Once again, did you ever do anything to harm your child?
No.
Did you ever do anything to where you were reluctant or unwilling or unable to seek medical care for this child?
No.